Ho ho buddies, welcome to Borderline Games. I'm Gareth and today we're playing Beacon Pines. Last time we were drugged by our grand's drugged jam, not coffee. I'm having a coffee right now. That's why I got that confused. It's perfectly understandable. And it seems like the jam was drugged. We were drugged by our gran, and she said she was going to handle everything. And now it's the day of the festival. I think so far I am correct. Let's move on.
Luca awoke to find himself face down in bed. He moaned into his pillow. Why would Gran drug him?
Yeah, fair question.
Or rather, why was she trying to drug Mr. Nuncreed?
Yeah. So she was getting Luca to deliver the jams, and they were all drugged.
His woozy head. Luca snapped.
Is that fair to say? Or did some of them have messages in? Because I think we saw messages in the jam as well, right? The festival. I guess we're just going to go straight there. You think it's all been wiped out as the explosion gone off? Oh. Oh. Hi, guys. Where have you been? Gran put something in the jam. Yeah, we know. Secret messages for secret conspirators. Yeah, that's right. It was, that there was messages in the jam as well. Not this one. The one intended for Mr. Nuncreed. Put me to sleep. Whoa. Ho. Ho. Whoa, ho, ho. Sly Devil. Sly, we got Sly Charm. I think she's trying to remove him from the equation. He might be in danger. Have you found anything? We looked around, but haven't seen anything odd. Your gran is nowhere to be found. But Mr. Nuncreed is just loafing around waiting for the speech. What speech? Mayor Gus just got up to the podium. Everyone's gathering at the stage. Let's get moving.
Augustus Valentine nervously wiped his brow.
You've got this, Mayor. Is this thing, hello, Beacon Pines. I'm Augustus Valentine, your mayor, and, I suppose you already knew that. Oh yes, before we get started, I just wanted to take a moment to recognize someone who couldn't be here today. This town wouldn't be where it is today without my father, Sharper Valentine. So I thought we could begin with a round of applause befitting such a great man. Not a lot claps. Even that's more than the old codger deserved.
Gus cleared his throat and awkwardly loosened his tie.
What did the guy do? Right, where was I?
William Kerr bounded on the stage with the energy of a preacher at a big tent revival.
Oh, okay. Gus Valentine, everyone.
He gave Gus a hearty slap on the back and motioned him off.
Yeah,
the
he's
stage.
evil. Let's hear it for our mayor. What a great turnout. Oh, heck, I didn't prepare anything. But I suppose I could say a few words. Would be a shame to waste such a beautiful podium.
Mr. Kerr pulled a thick stack of note cards out from his vest.
Community, conviction, commitment. These are the things we celebrate at Perennial Harvest. For us, these are the pillars of the bridge to a better tomorrow. But I think it's time to add a new pillar. Change. Change is a powerful thing. It's inexorable, whatever that means, unavoidable and undeniable. And I am dadgum thankful for it. Dadgum. Change is the reason we're all together today. It's hard for me to believe that it was only 4 years ago when fate brought me here. A simple business trip which brought me to a small town, which would change my life forever.
Mr. Kerr took a moment to survey the crowd.
You know what?
He wiped away a single tear.
From the second I set foot in Beacon Pines, something about this place has held me captive. You see, change represents opportunity. It represents potential. It was change that helped me recognize the potential of this place, yes. To see that the people of this town, despite suffering great loss, still held on to the things that made them special.
He thumped the podium to emphasize each word.
Community, conviction, commitment. Change.
Mr. Kerr nodded confidently, biting his lip. The crowd was silent.
In like a sexy way.
Attention.
Fate made a perfect match that day. Nothing is more important to you all than community. And Perennial Harvest is a community first and foremost.
Mr. Kerr methodically made eye contact with each section of the crowd.
The only way you made it through the foul harvest was an unshakable conviction. A conviction that a better tomorrow was just over the horizon. Perennial Harvest was founded on the conviction that we are that horizon. This festival is a symbol of our commitment to each other.
His voice began to build to a crescendo.
We now walk hand in hand into a future we will shape together. And that is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I am tickled pink that we will all be together. No, we're making that choice together. We'll all be together and we're making that choice. How great is that? Just imagine what we can accomplish. Boom. What was that?
The crowd began to look around nervously.
Don't worry, a little thunder isn't going to ruin this day. Everyone remain calm.
Mr. Kerr quickly flicked through his note cards.
Where was I? Through all of my travels, I have learned one true thing. One always reaps what they sow. We've all planted a lot of good in this town. And so, it is with a happy heart that I can proclaim.
He raised his hands up to the heavens.
Our harvest awaits! Oh my god. Okay, well that's one ending.
At that moment, a merciless wall of impossibly cold air ripped through the crowd, instantly freezing everyone.
Interesting, so that is... Surely that is to do with what the Gran is doing, because... I feel like we saw everybody there. Did we see everybody there? Maybe there wasn't somebody that I noticed wasn't there, maybe. But it seems like William Kerr isn't in on it, because why would he put himself in that position?
For a man like William Kerr, this was a fitting way for things to end. On a stage, with an entire...
Maybe William Kerr isn't that bad, he's just a bit of a dick.
Of time. The end.
The end.
There's that ice again! Whenever I think we're getting close, it comes along and ruins everything! Maybe we should just quit? Maybe you should just close the book, walk away, and never think of me again.
No, don't be like that. You're great. You're doing a good job.
No, I don't mean that.
Don't worry. I know you don't.
We got a little closer this time. We just need to try again. Please.
Alright, so, the beginner's guide to hostile interrogation. Okay, we've got flight here. Let's see what flight does here. This is when William Kerr is approaching our treehouse with his bunch of clipboards. Luca drew himself up and decided to take the only option they had left. Flight.
Luca drew himself up and decided to take the only option they had left. Flight. He squinted down the barrel of the mission control defense cannon, aiming it through an opening in the dense tree branches.
Nice.
He looked up with surprise as it struck true and taut.
Wow, I can't believe that worked. Hey, Mr. Kerr. We'd love to hear your thoughts. But I'm afraid we have places to be. Come on, Iggy. See you, Jax. Is this when we don't know where... what's his name is? Fine. We know where that leads them. This way. We'll take the tunnels. Tunnels?
And Iggy winced as they sprinted through the thicket.
What's his name? What's the guy? What's our friend called? Luca's me.
After what felt like a marathon. Luca stopped in his
Beck
tracks as they
is
reached
the girl that we're friends with.
What the? That was all he was able to say before Iggy slammed into his back.
Ooh.
The boys tumbled down a steep decline and crashed with a wheezing thud on a surface as hard as ice. In fact, it was ice.
Ooh, okay.
Chapter 5. Signs. They stood silently, catching their breath. The sky was like sapphire.
What is it?
With each breath, a plume of steam escaped from Luca's lungs. Let's keep moving.
I thought they just went into a tree.
Luca pulled Iggy to his feet as they gazed across a snowy terrain.
That was actually pretty badass. Uh-huh.
I think we lost him.
Are we up in the mountains?
I don't think so. If anything, we went downhill.
Then what's up with the Winter Wonderland?
All I know is there's no going back the way we came. Let's see if we can get our bearings. Follow me. Find a way home. Okay, well this kind of looks like... There's a manhole there, I'm assuming. Luca. Luca, you there?
Luca had almost forgotten the walkie-talkie he was carrying.
Is that bozo Kerr?
I hope nothing bad has happened to you out in those woods.
Luca looked at Iggy with hesitation.
No need to be rude.
With a resigned sigh, Luca responded.
It seems like the only dangerous thing in the woods is you.
He speaks! The young man of the hour. Now, how in tarnation did you end up with one of our radios?
Just lucky, I guess.
Boy howdy. You Van Horns are full of surprises, aren't you?
You knew my parents.
I never had the honour of meeting your father, but your mum sure was a handful.
Luca
Okay, maybe he's not.
shoved
Maybe
the
he is pretty
walkie-talkie
bad.
into his pocket.
We gotta keep moving.
Okay. Nothing here? Or this way? Nothing here. Literally nothing here. What's the point of this? I mean, I can see that this seems like the tombstone that my dad was buried, so... This appears to be... What is going on? This appears to be where my grand's house was, so...
A disc of smooth metal was lightly covered in snow. Two faint seams were visible along the surface.
A manhole cover. If it is, I've never seen one like it.
Okay, we can't interact with that. Let's go down this way. Yeah. What's the readout?
Sitting just above 258 Kelvin.
That's down a bit from last time. Should we report this to Mr. Kerr?
Still within safe range. Jizz.
It may be spreading, but it's under control for now. Even a small nudge in the equilibrium could cause a cascade. Dude, relax. Just a few more sites to hit before we can punch out. Let's get this over with. So just everything is frozen over. So we escaped and then the thing went off, I'm guessing?
What's all this? Hard to say with all this snow. I think it's a town sign. I could almost make out the letters under there. What town could this even be? There couldn't be another town this deep into Weep Wood. I'm looking at evidence to the contrary. Let's figure out what we're dealing with here. Step 1. Snow's gotta go. I'll see what I can do.
Is there anything to pick up to throw at it? Okay. No. Okay, I got it. Beacon Pines.
The boys stared in disbelief at the sign that now clearly read, "Welcome to Beacon Pines."
This doesn't make any sense. We're in Beacon Pines. How's that possible? We ran away from town. How did we get back here? I guess we got turned around. Where did all this snow come from? Well, it's been colder than normal lately. There's a pretty big difference between sweater weather and this Arctic hellscape.
The puddle we fought at before. It was cold, too. Maybe all of it leads to one source.
You think it's related? What the hell is going on?
We're gonna get you some answers. Let's keep moving. Okay. Can't go up there. Treehouse is barred.
Each chain link encapsulated with a translucent layer of ice.
How did we get back to the town from sliding out of the town?
Looks like the stuff they put up around Weep Wood. The stuff who put up? I don't know. It's all frozen.
Looking down at the frozen stream, Luca could faintly see a school of minnows encased in the ice.
Whatever happened here, it happened fast. The fish didn't even have time to run. Or, you know, swim run.
And this is taken down.
Watching a footsteps trailing Luca
Taken
with
down.
hush.
It's destroyed.
He looked back to see Iggy's face twisted with confusion.
Everyone's gone.
What?
There's nothing here but more snow. There must be an explanation for all of this. We have to keep looking. You can look all you want. I quit.
Iggy, we have to keep going.
You don't get it, do you? This isn't one of your pathetic Hank Atomic stories. We aren't going to save the day. We aren't even going to save ourselves. My face is mangled. This town is destroyed. And everything we've ever known is gone. We don't know that. You can't just quit. Do whatever you want.
I'm quitting here. I'm gonna stay there.
I'm done.
Iggy, it's gonna be okay.
Luca peered upward at the darkening sky. He let out a long, foggy breath. Faintly, Iggy began to cry.
Aw, Iggy. Iggy the bully is crying.
Seeing Iggy in such a pathetic state gave Luca a sense of compassion, and more than a little guilt.
It is getting pretty late, I think. Probably not a great idea to stumble around in the dark anyway.
Luca allowed himself to collapse next to Iggy.
In the snow. They're not gonna survive that.
Let's just rest for a bit.
The boys huddled together for warmth and comfort. If not for exhaustion, their minds would be racing, trying to make sense of the events of the day.
So I'm guessing that I did get turned around somehow, and me sliding down that tree managed to get me out of range just enough.
As it was, all they had energy for was to sit in silence, numb.
Does that make sense? Why wouldn't we notice a big explosion happening? Is it possible that there was a big explosion and I didn't... Like, I've loaded a later thing and I should remember that there was an explosion? I don't know.
The way the snow covered everything over. It's kind of calming. Yeah. I haven't had time to say it, but thanks. Huh? For getting us away from those creeps. I sort of froze up back there.
Iggy, I should be the one apologising. This all happened because I lost my temper.
Nah, that's bull hockey. First of all, you didn't know what the gunk would do. You didn't, right?
Of course not.
And second, stop with this baloney about losing your temper.
But I did lose my temper.
Iggy motioned sarcastically to his half-deformed face.
Obviously. But that's exactly what you should have done. Huh? I was being a horse's ass. You were supposed to be a horse's ass in response. That's how it works.
Iggy, I'm having a hard time following. It's very hard to hear what you're saying. You wanted me to fight you.
Of course. Geez, you goody-goody types take forever to understand this very basic point. Why would you go around saying cruel things trying to get into fights?
Iggy shrugged.
I know. It's something to do. You're an asshole because you're bored. Sometimes I just feel empty. You wouldn't understand.
Volo, that's his name.
You and Volo are always having a blast together. Laughing and calling that dinky little treehouse mission control.
Iggy now wept openly.
Aw, he doesn't have a proper friend to go to a treehouse and call it mission control.
Perfect little Luca Van Horn. With his perfect little life. My life is not perfect. Everybody in town likes you. Not everybody. Hell, that new girl hasn't even unpacked yet and even she likes you. You have Tish.
He wiped his nose with a sleeve.
I love Tish. Tish is great. But she ain't exactly the world's greatest conversationalist, you know? She just says yep.
Luca gave a warm chuckle.
I get that impression.
Iggy cleared his throat as he wiped his eyes.
Huh. It must be raining out here. Definitely.
Iggy arched into a wide yawn.
We should probably try to get some sleep. Yeah.
Let's lay low for now. Tomorrow we'll get to the bottom of all of this.
Luca's eyelids began to slowly drift shut.
Luca? Yeah? I always did want to see the inside of your dinky little treehouse. What do you think? Not bad. I'll give you the full tour when we get back. You know what?
That's all Luca could whisper before succumbing to sleep. Iggy snuggled in some more.
When it comes to the worst days of my entire life, this one wasn't half bad.
And then they died.
The house smelled of warm bread. Luca was playing with toy blocks on the living room rug. He looked up to see his parents on the couch. His mother held his father's head in her lap. She idly stroked his hair while humming a song. A voice behind Luca spoke. "This is how you remember them, huh?" Luca turned to see his own face. The doppelganger from his dreams, still clad in a yellow hazmat suit, still carrying a look of disdain behind empty eyes. Aww, look at this perfectly cozy scene. You know it wasn't really like this.
Maybe it's not a doppelganger and it's actually his father.
The figure picked up a toy block and inspected it. It's amazing the facades that one can build given the right materials. Not that I blame us. These are a child's memories, all warm and fuzzy.
Or maybe this is his warped recalling of it as an adult or something.
You don't remember, do you? Lucas snatched the block from the figure's yellow-gloved hand. Remember what? The doppelganger pointed to the couch. The last day we saw him alive. The day he chose to abandon
That's
us.
the father. Okay.
Luca turned to look at his father, still lounging on the couch. That's not true. He didn't abandon us. The doppelganger waved his hand dismissively. Everything is true here. It's just a matter of what we choose to see. Let me show you. The world flickered and pulsed. Luca was sitting next to his bed, listening to his heartbeat with one of his dad's stethoscopes. The doppelganger limped into the room. Now, we both know that's not how this went. He grabbed Luca's hand and guided the stethoscope to the floor. Luca heard muffled shouting, brought close by the stethoscope. It was his parents, fighting. Do you remember what we did next? Luca gave a slow nod and crept down the hall to peek through the banister.
So was it Lucas' fault
He could see the outline of his mother at the bottom of the stairs.
that his father left?
Damn it, Walt. We can't afford to get involved in this. She was scared. His father stepped forward. What am I supposed to do? Just watch? There's a sickness in this town, and we both know who's behind it.
Who do you think's behind it?
I swore an oath to help people.
What is he? A policeman?
I won't turn my back on them. Luca's mother grabbed
He's
Walt.
the sheriff
She
of
was
Beacon
crying,
Pines.
pleading. I can't lose you. Walt calmly removed Eleanor's hand from his shoulder. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. I could never live with myself if I let Sharper get away with this.
Oh, Sharper. Okay, Sharper was the father of the mayor. The current mayor, right?
Eleanor raised her voice.
Was it the father, or was it predecessor?
Spare me your bullshit pledge.
I feel like it was his father.
What about our son? Luca flinched, dropping the stethoscope down the stairs. Walt turned with a panicked smile. Luca, is that you, buddy? With tears in his eyes, Luca descended the stairs. Mom? Dad? What's going on?
Oh, poor Luca.
Walt dropped to a knee to meet Luca eye to eye. Nothing, buckaroo. Your mom and I just got a little overexcited is all. Luca placed the stethoscope against his father's chest. His heart was racing. It sounded like you were going somewhere? Walt gently removed the device from Luca's ears. Listen to me, Luca. I have some business to take care of. I'll be back in time to tuck you in. Luca hugged his father tightly. Promise? Walt stood up and walked to the door. He glanced over his shoulder. I promise. With a wink and a grin, he put on his hat and strode out into the evening sun.
Never to come back. That doesn't sound like it was Luca's fault. Does it? Oh, we're still alive?
A figure approached soundlessly from the foggy snowfall. It stood above them, lingering in contemplation. Slowly raising one hand above Iggy, it snapped out 2 brisk raps on his head.
Who is this?
From a deep slumber, Iggy sprang up defensively.
Also, I thought these guys were going to die in the snow, but I guess they're animals, they can live in the snow.
Get your hands off me!
Whether it was the calming presence or the recognition that he was not in danger, Iggy felt his clenched fists lower.
Just what do you think you're doing?
Luca looked up, gradually remembering his whereabouts. The figure exhaled a cloud of warm vapor.
You two certainly have caused a lot of commotion. What's that supposed to mean? Take it easy, Iggy. We were asleep minding our own business. You're the one running around knocking on people's heads.
I'm sorry if I hurt you, Iggy.
You didn't hurt nobody.
Anybody. It's anybody.
Huh? Oh, I see. You think you're better than me. You.
When it came to complete strangers, Iggy had trouble cobbling together an insult.
You. Big-hatted. Scarfy-necked. Furball.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's lower the temperature a bit here.
Interesting choice of words.
I mean, let's all just calm down. Who are you?
A friend. An observer. A hitchhiker on the infinite expanse of possibility.
Great. How about a name?
If you must call me something, you can call me Nat.
Iggy huffed with gratification.
How about you make a little, no. How about you make like a gnat and buzz off?
Very well.
Nat began to turn away indifferently.
Wait. Do you live here?
You might say that.
So you know where we are?
You might also say that.
Look, pal, we just want to find a safe way out of here. You gonna help us or not?
Before knowing how to leave, one must know where they are.
Alright, that does it. Luca, I don't know about you, but I'm getting out of here one way or another.
Iggy turned sharply and began to stomp off.
Enough with the riddles. Iggy, wait up.
Realizing he'd worn their patience then, Nat relented.
Very well, I suppose this isn't the time for metaphors. I'll show you how to get back home.
Luca and Iggy turned around with hope in their eyes.
Come here.
Nat took a deep breath in.
Close your eyes.
Nat exhaled slowly, then snapped his fingers.
Okay. Open them.
For a brief moment, Luca and Iggy let themselves believe that some great magic was about to unfold until they opened their eyes and found themselves in the exact same place.
What? Okay, great.
Cold and disheartened.
This is your home. This is Beacon Pines.
Look, Nat, we don't know how we got here. Maybe we stumbled through some time travel gate in Weep Wood. Or we teleported to some alternate universe. Or this is all just some cool experiment by Kerr and his goons. But this is not our home.
You're inching closer to the truth. Alas, the reality is much less fanciful.
Just give it to us straight.
So be it. As I said, this is Beacon Pines. The original, true Beacon Pines. Oh, we found a way home. You both grew up here, but the town you've called your home for the past several years. What? Is a replica. Oh! So there's a second Beacon Pines that's adjacent to the actual Beacon Pines. There's two Beacon Pines. A remarkable achievement of engineering, to be fair. But a replica, nonetheless.
That's impossible. It's too much work. You'd need a whole town to replicate a whole town.
Indeed, to pull off such a feat would require immense labour power. That which could be moved would be moved. That which could not would require a precise duplicate.
We would have noticed. Someone would have noticed.
You'd think so, unless the auditing was impeccable. A mind-numbing attention to detail. As for the innumerable trivialities which complete the tapestry, well, you can't leave that to this miraculous thing we call a brain. It has a real aversion to continuity. That's hard to say. Discontinuity. Revulsion, even. The brain has a wonderful way of smoothing out the rough edges, keeping us sane. Oh. Hang on. No. Narration. Luca and Iggy looked around uncomfortably.
So you're saying that someone made an entire new town and moved us all and no one noticed?
Precisely.
But why?
Why is the one question that can never be answered with certainty. The best one can do is to uncover.
Nat narrowed his eyes, furrowed his brow, and uttered,
Weird that there wasn't any narration a second ago. I guess that must have been a mistake. The source.
Why'd you say the source like that?
Why indeed.
Luca began to laugh uncomfortably.
It's all ridiculous. There's no way they could.
He looked down at his feet. His eyes started back and forth in contemplation. But with a sudden pain, a thought struck him.
If this really is home,
He sprinted off into the pale distance. As Iggy turned to follow, Nat called out.
Iggy. It's not too late to turn back. Simply head west. Through Weep Wood. Whoa, okay. Interesting.
6. The source.
Wow, okay. Big reveal. 2 Beacon Pines. To be continued. To Beacon Pines. That's funny. To be continued. Alright, well, this does it for another episode of Beacon Pines. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and I will see you next time. Have a great evening. Take care of yourselves. Look after your town. It might be turned into a replica and made all snowy. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.